Okay, I am done doing the setup stuff. I think we are good to go. Yes, we are. Sweet. I hope everyone is doing well tonight. I'm happy to be here. It is the end of the week. We're going into the weekend. And looking forward to having a fun and relaxing stream and all that. I hope everyone here is doing well and has enjoyed their week as well. And looking forward to doing a bunch of fun stuff. At least they have stuff planned. And even if you're just home relaxing, that is all good as well. So yeah. Tonight I'm going to continue working on the 1,000 points within 20 days, or that little, I guess, mini crusade army. I guess I'm gonna plan on doing it this point. I am going to be continuing working on the Terminators. Is what I'll be working on this part here. I'm like trying to figure out what is the next step, and I think what I'm gonna work on next is all their metallic bits, even though I really do want to jump in on painting the blues and black highlights and like start working on the armor. What's up, Rage? Like, you want to know what the list of the units are that I have? Yeah, I'd be happy to share those with you. So as some people have seen, I have a 5-man squad of Terminators going to be led by that Warlord, which is the captain in Terminator armor. I have a squad of Eliminators that are in the list as well. I have two 5-man squads of Assault Intercessors. And I have a Redemptor Dreadnought and a Gladiator Lancer is what I am running for that list. The only ones people haven't seen yet is the tank. That's the only thing that has not been shown yet. So that is the list that I'm trying to get done within the time frame I have. So yeah, I think it's like going well so far. I guess the main idea I have is just to get everything battle ready. So get like the main colors put on all of them. Like, I know with this guy, he's missing like some color in the middle of his gun here and also on the base. But like looking at him other than that, he's ready for the tabletop. He's not pretty, but he's ready. I think same with these guys. I mean, there's a little bit here or there that I could touch up. And I definitely want to push them that little envelope further. I think, like I said last stream, I want all my models to look like this good eventually. The lighting doesn't make it look that well, but this guy is, in my opinion, like pretty well done. And I got him done in a relatively quick amount of time. You're waiting on an order. What did you buy last month? Did you just buy a bunch of Warhammer stuff? That's gonna be my question. I still want to jump in just doing all the other little like blue colors. But I think I'm going to wait. And I'm going to move on to doing... I'm going to move on doing the metallics. That's going to be the next biggest thing with all these guys. Get those pulled out. Nope, that is shut. That's open. Let's see, that is... Wraithbone for all the paper stuff. I got corn red and... Well, I gotta put these back in the drawer at some point. What do I need? I need cobalt metal and like gunmetal and greedy gold. That's what I'm gonna need. Tomb World Terrain, Iron Halo Strike Force, ×2 Jetpack Assault Intercessor Scout Squad, and an Impulsor. That sounds like a really interesting list. Because the Iron Halo Strike Force, is that the Iron Hands, like, combat patrol? I'm going to assume it is. I think I looked at it today. Because I went to a game store that's like 30 minutes from me. That's the closest one. And I was going there to buy a box of models. Because I have an idea that I want to do at some point. But... Oh no, it's the Battle Force Christmas box? Oh... Damn. That is still that's a big list. I've heard that's like one of the better ones to come out. Out of the whole list. Actually, I might not really need to shake this up. I might still have some good metallic. Oh, I do. Holy crap, I do. Just getting right into it. I went to go buy Warhammer at my game store, and I left buying Magic cards. I mean, not terrible. I was like, hey, you know what? I'll look at the Magic cards because I'm trying to build a Tiamat deck. And I left not... I'm not building a Tiamat deck anymore. You know what? I'm going to go grab them. Nice. Always nice to have a good, like, 2,000 point army. But I will show you guys, I guess before I continue painting. I know probably not everyone here is into Magic the Gathering. I'm not into it that much, personally, but I have a couple decks that I do want, that I am kind of building or that I do play with, like with friends, because most of the friends that, I have a group of friends that are in the Magic, want to get into Warhammer, but they're not that interested. I gotta put my thumb over some parts on these cards because the price tag is still on them, and I do want to show people what I spent on them. So, first one I'll show off is I got the Ancient Bronze Dragon. I actually wanted like a full art one, but I just grabbed this one either way and be like, you know what? I'll throw it in. I know it's not one of the best ones out of this set. Actually, the one I like more is the Brass Dragon. I never played Yu-Gi-Oh! I liked the art in Yu-Gi-Oh! But not really didn't understand it all that much. I understand Magic a lot more, but this is one of the ones I bought. I think initially I was planning on building a Tiamat deck. I will show you the card that changed what I'm doing instead. So then I also bought this one, Ballfire Dragon. Really more, the idea is that if I have cards that deal, let's see, pretty much just if I attack like a player directly with this, I want to like wipe someone else's creatures out. That's the main thing. Like, because Tiamat's like a 5-color deck or a 5-color commander, so trying to find different ways of doing damage to people and utilizing their abilities. So I also got this guy, and pretty much just because a lot of creatures are multi-mana and take a lot of mana to bring out, this felt really good just for any creatures that I do attack. It pretty much just adds the mana value for, I think, their power is how I understand it. But I will double check with friends and go from there. So that's to help with like ramp and all that stuff. I bought this guy pretty much to stop any like spells coming out at me, or really at this guy, to pretty much punish them back. Is this how it goes? Because this one reads as spells your opponents cast that target this card specifically cost an additional 3 life to cast. So if they're like casting a counter spell to get rid of this, they got to pay 3 life as well on top of that. And this is the one I was thinking of. Is like whenever another creature enters the battlefield under my control, this card deals damage equal to that creature's power to any target. So I think I could target players directly with this, or I might be able to target like other creatures that are going to be a problem. So that'll be fun. And these I can show because it did not. They don't have a price tag. But some of them were just kind of interesting because I do play like black in some of these decks. So I'm like, this one could be interesting to do. I'm not sure if this one will work in the deck, but just more the fact of like, maybe it gives me more mana. This one, just so I can deal damage to everything on the board and like wipe out, hopefully, if I have a lot of mana, wipe out everything besides my creatures and just leave me completely open. So it's kind of a board wipe for me. Thought this guy was kind of cool, so I grabbed him and I want to put him in. And then, not sure about this, just, I know I'm going to need a lot of card draw, so I went like, maybe I'll need something like that. This one, to make it so that my opponents, it costs more to kind of like play their spells. I'm pretty sure it'll make me like cost more as well, so it might not be the best one to play, but it'll be like, if I'm going to go down, I'm going to make it harder for people. This one makes it so that spells that I cast or instance cost like 2 less, which I'm like, that's pretty good, especially on some of these other cards I have. And then this just getting certain cards in my hand and returning some from the library. Some like interesting lands. And this one I thought was interesting. I'm like, oh, this one really caught my eye. So this one, pretty much when this guy or any other dragon enters the battlefield, I create a treasure token. And that is really good because treasure is just like a mana card. Or it's like just a mana, it's just a ball of mana that I can spend. I don't know what FF stands for. I'll have to look into that one. Now, like I said, initially I'm building a Tiamat deck. There was one card that I wanted more that if I got, I'd put in the Tiamat deck, or it would become the commander for the Tiamat deck. And that is this card here. So, I found an Dragon card, and I'm like, you know what? It's not a card that I think, if it's commander, I'm not going to be able to use. Oh, the Final Fantasy card game. Yeah, I didn't know they came up with a card game. I'll have to ask my buddies at the game store, like, if they play it or if they have it. But, nah, I found this one. I'm like, if I never pull it out as my commander, that's fine, because its ability works well to begin with, or it can just be in my deck and still have Tiamat as the commander. Because I think Tiamat's ability, I'm like able to pull cards from my library, put it into my hand, Then if I have like another card that's on the field, all dragon spells cost nothing to cast. So that is what I bought instead of buying Warhammer. I bought that instead. Do I regret my decision? No. I do not, because I'm one step closer to actually building this dragon deck. Huh, interesting. I know I played like the One Piece card game that came out with a friend. That was fun to play. Weren't really sure like how everything works with that. I've only played it once, so I'm definitely gonna have to check it out again. We're gonna have to do that, and then we're gonna add that back in. Trying to get the eyes not to be full of paint. I think I might have messed up on that. Yeah, I did. So, what's up, Raz? Welcome to the stream. I hope you are enjoying your weekend or your Friday night so far and are looking forward to your weekend. I'm looking forward to my weekend, and looking forward to sitting here and chatting with all y'all. I'm just sitting here kind of doing a weird challenge for myself. I got to change the title to actually what the challenge is, but I am working on trying to do like 1,000 points in Space Marines within 20 days. This is day 10. I gotta mark it. You got a grumpy chicken? I've dealt with a couple grumpy chickens. I have a couple chickens myself, and I honestly need to take better care of them. But yeah, like I was saying, I'm trying to do like 1,000 points within 20 days. So it's kind of a challenge to myself, but also like just trying to get stuff painted. So like I'm working on the Warlord for the army, which is this Terminator with this captain in Terminator armor. I broke off his like little shield note thing, and I think I'm going to keep it off and all that. But yeah, I'm running this guy and 5 other Terminators, and then also like a Eliminator Squad, Redemptor Dreadnought, Gladiator Lancer, and 2 5-man squads of Assault Intercessors. Oh, the music's changed. I didn't listen to this one beforehand, so I have no idea what's coming. We accept people of all walks of life here. I'll just say. What do you mean I got a lot? This ain't a lot. I've already got, like, everyone kind of basted, and I will admit I'm using the Lancer and the Dreadnought in a list already. Because I haven't... Except for Heretics. That, I will agree. We don't accept Heretics here. Although I will admit I have painted a couple Chaos models here, but they weren't mine. They were not my models. They were for a friend who plays Black Legion, who is the guy... I actually will be playing these models against him in the future. So that is kind of what this will start as. I will admit, I do accept Xenos here. because one of the armies I am building, I do have, is Tyranids. So I do have a couple Tyranid models. I do have one guy that I painted up here. It was like the first Tyranid I've ever painted on this channel. And oh boy, it was a big boy. Actually, that's what I went to the game store today to get, is I wanted to get the Inquisitor like kill team. And I plan on, like, when I do my guard, pretty much throwing in a bunch of Inquisitor Imperial Agent models in. Because I have an idea for a model that I got recently. Is that pretty much where it needs to be? Yeah. Well, I can actually hit in here. Actually, I'll show it off real quick. So, I got these two while I was on my trip in Canada. I know these are Age of Sigmar models, and I wanted to get their older models. But I want to turn these two into an Inquisitor. Yeah, I don't know which one I want to make the Inquisitor. I think I'll make Galen the Inquisitor and his daughter like the Inquisitor in training. For like when I do it, so like this will be the Interrogator, this will be the Inquisitor. So I want to like sci-fi them a little bit. I do want to like run an Age of Sigmar army at some point, so I won't change them too much, but definitely an army I want to build. For those of you who want to build. Ooh, the Krieg. The Krieg are so much fun. I have collected models for a guard army, and most of them are the Deathcore Krieg, but I want to turn my Krieg models into either Valhallans or make my own, like, unique guard army. I'm unsure what I'll do in the future. Oh, got it. I was hoping you'd just stay there. Well, the reason why I picked Valhallans is because I've read a couple Kaivis Kane books, and I love the Valhallans in that story. Oh, they're so good. Also, I come from a very snowy state. I'm from the northeast of the U.S. and it's very cold up here. It's getting colder, so I agree with the Valhallans of just like being in the cold and all that stuff. No. No, I'm not. I am as far northeast as you can get in the U.S. Well, I'm on the western side of my state, but my state's as far northeast as you can get. The slogan for my state is "This is vacation land." Which I understand why people call that now. Like, they call the state this. I wish, although during the summer, I wish the out-of-staters would stay out of my state so I could enjoy it. And in the winter, they can come here and ski because I don't do that. I dislike the snow here. As I've gotten older, I dislike the snow. But it's more the fact I've had to work in the snow is why I dislike it. I don't have a strong accent. I've never actually heard like a proper accent from where I'm from. Like what people think as the accent. Like I've heard it on like videos and stuff, exaggerated. But where I'm from is a weird mixture of like a few dialects, I guess. Like I've been told like this region that I live in is like when the first settlers kind of moved to the US and stuff, like this is what they sounded like for English is supposedly what I sound like. I don't believe it. Let me read up chat. Straight Blood Angels is what Rage is making. This is so I can visit 40k night, but I would like to do a custom Yeah, you did talk about a custom SCP chapter, which that would be cool to see. I might have to switch out this one. I must be a coasty one. I don't actually. It takes me about an hour to drive to the coast. I'm a 30-minute drive from New Hampshire. That's all I'm giving for information on like my exact location. But I'm a 30-minute drive from New Hampshire and an hour drive from the coast. And a 2-hour drive from Massachusetts. Well, Boston to be more exact. Yes. My answer to your question, if it's soda or pop, the answer is yes. Oh, wait a minute. Are you talking about... I just read your thing. God, I'm in his Discord. What's his name? It bugs me because I can never remember his name. Is it like RT40K? Oh, okay. In his Discord, it's like his actual name. I don't respond or talk to that. I don't talk in that one at all. I probably should just to like interact and talk with people in there and build a repertoire with the community, but I don't mind being in my own little bubble as well. I am gonna have to like step away for a second and use the bathroom, but I will be back. I could switch it to the BRB screen. Nah, I won't. Or, yeah, I will. Hold on. There you go. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Okay, what did I just come back to? What? Wait, hold on. What did I just come back to? Sorry, I'm just like reading. I like SCP-2, then the drama happened. I think I lost track of it all at some point. What's 40k Knights? I want to go small point army in this rage. I want to go small point army before then try out Crusade with 500 Worlds coming out. Like going to the LGS. Oh, gotcha. The LGS is like an intro to 40k. That's I kind of do a little bit of slap chop like with these models to begin with. I dry brush these guys terribly. And I will admit that. They were dry brushed poorly. But I didn't clean the brush I was trying to use as well either. And it got really caked up with paint. Okay. I think for all the cobalt, that's pretty much it, besides that one little spot on the top. I will admit, in the Crusade that I'm currently playing in, a lot of my models are unfinished. I only have like maybe 2 or 3. Oh, so damn it, I don't have any that are not painted anymore. But how to explain it? I took some gray paint, tried to dry brush it, or like tried to get the paint off, then dry brush on this, and it didn't even cover anything. It was just splotchy. It's like, I'll try to bring this up closer so people can kind of see. It's going to be difficult to tell, but like there's instead of it being like a uniformed dry brush and all that, it was like splotchy on the cape, so you can kind of see like where it's raised here and here. It's a little bit highlighted. And you can see where it's unpainted, like right on the corner. It's like that white, but then all black around it. It's just like an unclean brush. That's what caused it. I did not clean my dry brush beforehand. And I was like, you know what? I'll try dry brushing with it anyways. And that was a terrible idea. The paint started to cake up on the brush and make the bristles stick together. So it just became patchy. Oh, actually, it might be easier to tell on... Actually, no, this is the perfect model to show it on. So not where it's gray here, but you see where it's gray up at the top? It's like gray and then just like gray all along there. Like on the black. That's the dry brushing I did. Yeah. But I've just covered these guys in contrast paint, and then I'm going to cover them in acrylic paint and go from there. So I'm going to turn a bad idea into something better. At least that is the plan. That be the plan. Okay, I gotta do more cobalt on these guys as well. Oh, I know no one has asked, but I'm gonna say anyways. That's what I used. I used a makeup brush that my mother wasn't using or didn't need anymore. Like the largest one I have is this thing. This is the largest one I have for dry brushing. It's not what I use. It's not what I use. Where is it? Oh, here it is. So I cleaned it now. It's probably still got some paint stuck in it, but like this is what I use to dry brush. And you can see there's still like some gray paint still stuck in there, but it was a lot worse. I was actually able to clean it out. I had to like physically take and break apart the bristles to get to like work together. So, cobalt, that's what I need. What I also need to find is my makeup sponge. I tried using one of those cheap dollar store sponges to do sponging effect on some models, and it just didn't turn out good. It's good for like a little bit of effect, but a makeup sponge is better. But as I was about to say, for I don't have any mineral spirits. I actually use actual brush soap. So I literally just use this and water to clean my brushes. The problem is that I let all my brushes build up until I have no brushes left to use, and then I clean them all at once. So like this is the same brush I used last stream, and I'm just choosing to rehydrate it with water and clean it off every time I'm like it just starts to not work as well. Because I am extremely lazy and I'd rather... I understand it's a bad habit. You know, I know it's a bad habit. I should be cleaning it after every stream. But I also have like 5 base coating brushes that I will just... When one gets bad, I switch to a new one. And then when they're all bad, I clean them. But yeah, as I was saying, I am working on a custom Space Marine chapter is what I'm doing. So all the regular like Marines that are second company all the way to all the way from second company to like 10th company, they are this blue armor with one orange shoulder pad and a black shoulder pad, and cobalt being the metallic for the Aquila on the front and shoulder pads. They also have a black backpack with orange on them, and green for the eye lenses. The first company, all veterans, are in black armor, as you see here, with different bits of blue just where I chose it to be. Really all kind of started with this guy right here. So this is my current first company captain that I'm running in a crusade. I want to get him like the actual chapter master upgrade in the crusade, but I don't think I'm gonna hit it. But yeah, I'm loving the scheme. I actually stole this black and blue paint scheme from another homebrew chapter called the Seraphim of the Abyss. It's like a Dark Angel second founding chapter someone just made. And I was going to build my whole army based off that. And then I was like, you know what? I really do want to make my own custom Marines using like my favorite colors. That being like blue, orange, and green. So, and instead of like stripping down all the models that I've already painted black and blue, which is really that first one I showed, that captain, because I did him for an art competition. I did not want to redo him, but I also wanted to use him in games. I was like, you know what? We are going to make him just First Company. And First Company evolved into just having that color scheme. And I'm very happy with it. I'm happy with... Because I get the best of both worlds. I get to work on 2 different color schemes, but yet throw them in the same army. They were a Dark Angel successor chapter. Like I said, the guy made them a second founding chapter, which I'm like, that's cool. I love Dark Angels. They are one of my top 4 favorite Space Marine chapters. So I will admit my Space Marines are a mixed gene seed, and I just mixed them together with my 4 favorite chapters into one. And you know what? This chapter was made during the Ultima founding. I will admit, Dark Angels are definitely a lot more mainstream than I realized. I don't regret not picking them and liking them because they have such a cool aesthetic. I love knights in space. I love knights. And I get giant dudes that are knights in space. I'm like, yes! Oh, I'm so happy about it. And I will admit, the first ever 40k book that I read was The Lion... Oh, what the hell? What the fuck? I haven't listened to this one a bit. Okay, I'm going to go through the ad. Let me get... It's different music now than what I initially had. I switched to a different one. I haven't played this one in a while. So, funny you mention... Okay, I stopped because your name changed from Rage to Dorzo, and I'm so confused on why. Wait a minute. Oh, please. Okay, I'm gonna ask a dumb question. Dorzo, have you been in my chat before? Oh my god, the pieces are putting together. If you are who I think you are... Oh my... I thought you were someone different this whole time! Oh, the Blood Angels and Work should have led that away. This literally was just an Alpha Legion ploy. Oh my lord, Dorzo, how have you been, man? I hope everything's going okay for you, man. Oh my lord. I'm glad you're doing well. It's good to see you here again. It has definitely been a bit. No, when I first started streaming, Dorzo was one of the people that uh, joined my streams and all that stuff. And all that. I'm trying to remember like all the information and stuff that's gonna happen, but YouTube did a weird thing where it changed a bunch of people's names, and sometimes, well, people will like come back into stream with a new name, and I don't recognize it's them. And that's literally just what happened with Dorzo here. That's right. I couldn't remember if your house was falling apart as well. Because I do remember you were talking about some issues you're having with your house. Or, like, not your house, but, like, your appliances were breaking down. So that's what happened. Excuse me. But I find that so funny. Because don't the Alpha Legion usually disguise themselves as like blood angels or stuff like that? That's funny. That's just like to me so funny, even though it's probably not that funny. But yeah, no, it's good to see you here again, man. I'm glad everything's doing well. Uh, I should change the channel description to like add this other guy here too. I haven't played him in like quite a while, talking about the music and all that stuff. It's all like 40k music. Okay. What is the name of the channel? I'm gonna post the name of the channel in chat, and that is where I got the music currently that's playing from. But in the description was the previous like channel. But I've just to replay like the same playlist over and over every stream, it can get kind of annoying. So I like to switch it up every once in a while. And this is the first time like I actually actively switched it during stream. Usually I'll play like the same playlist all stream, and then next stream I've switched it. Although I think this one I used. Ooh, I think I know which one you're talking about. Is it done with AI voice or is it done with the Irish singer? Because I think I've heard both, and both are really good. I mean, the real singer is always better than the AI voice. Should I pull up that video and play it? I don't know if I could. I've listened to Nurgle's theme for that. And And I've also listened to, like, the God Emperor one. I think I like the God Emperor a little bit more. I dislike AI in general for, like, images and stuff like that. And, like, okay, it made a good song, but it's still missing something. Like, did I sit there and listen to it? Yeah. I'm not going to disagree. I sat there and listened to the music. Yeah, Papa Nurgle. I might have to find that one and listen to it again. But yeah, it's like, I can't even remember everything about it, but it was good. Actually, I'm going to take a second and see if I can find it real quick. Oh, Embrace the Rot. That's what I remember. A Nurgle-inspired song. It's by Endless Tavern. Embrace the Rot. As soon as I looked at it again, I have, like, the words playing in my head, but I can't repeat them. Not that they're bad, it's just, like, I don't... The notes and stuff match what's in my head. I just can't physically re-say them. I haven't played Space Marine 2 in a bit. I might need to hop back on it. Last time I played, they added the axe, and they added the axe to Space Marine 2, which is fun. Doesn't beat the hammer though. I love the hammer in Space Marine 2. I play Assault, and I use the hammer. The problem is I don't stick with a game, like, very long. My most recent game that I've been playing that I really enjoyed is called Dispatch. Oh, so much fun. I love playing Dispatch. Oh, same. I'm running around as the jump pack guy as well. Although I will admit I go down every, like, 5 to 10 seconds, but I'm still trying my best. I want to get good at Bulwark, because I love Bladeguard Vet, and I love the drip that you get as playing Bulwark in Space Marine 2. Such good, like, upgrades and all that stuff. There'll be a Sanctuary Guard soon. But the problem is I'm you can play a Sanctuary Guard. I'm interested in actually trying out the Librarian if that comes out. Did they make, like, a Librarian or, like, Judiciar class? I tried playing Judiciar. Judiciar would be fun. Just gonna chuck that to a legit YouTube downloader. Oh, trust me, I've downloaded some songs off of YouTube just for videos and stuff, and they're not the most safest of sites. Actually, I really should think about planning out a video again soon. I told a couple stories last night that I definitely want to turn into YouTube shorts. I got a few more that I can share in the future. I just gotta remember them. I came out of a physical closet. I did not come out of the metaphorical one. I came out of a physical closet. To summarize that story, for anyone that's new and does not know, I went on a road trip to Canada with two other friends. Our last night in Canada, we pretty much stayed in a one-bedroom room, the three of us. And there wasn't really room for, like, three guys to sleep in the same room. But there was a closet that was big enough to actually, like, sleep in. So I slept in the closet. And one of my friends laughed so hard. They all agreed it was practical, but, like, you're sleeping in a closet. That's what's funny. And I'm like, no, I get it, but, like, it's practical. The other thing, like, when he was laughing, his voice got muffled randomly, so I thought my other friend was smothering him with a pillow, and I did not get up to help him. I'm like, you know what? He's drunk. He needs to go to fucking sleep. Pass him the fuck out. I do not care. Knock his ass out. It works. I agree, it works. I will admit, a wooden floor is not comfortable, but if you're in a sleeping bag and you got a pillow, I will sleep. Well, if I have a sleeping bag and a pillow, I will almost sleep anywhere. So, if it works, it works. I'm realizing there's a few spots that I need to re-hit with some paint. One of the other weird things I did during the trip, and I have no idea where I was trying to go with this, is a story, or not as a story, but as a joke. So it was like the second night in Canada, and we were driving to our next place. Or it wasn't even the second night. It was our third night. And we watched the second and third Hangover movie. And we were coming up to a roundabout, and one of my friends just, like, talked about going over the roundabout or something like that. Just some like, odd little thing. Then I'm like, you know what? I'll make a little joke about, like, the movie and going over a roundabout. So I was gonna, like, talk about something with Alan, and at the end scene where he's, like, getting married, and he's like, oh, I like to hump my, like, future wife. Like, she, like, relaxes me. Because he's, like, talking to all the guys and stuff like that. And I was trying to make this joke, and I couldn't, for the life of me, get past the word hump. So I kept repeating the word hump over and over 3 times in the car while we're trying to go around this roundabout. And, I mean, they start laughing. They're like, what are you talking about? Like, I don't know. Like, I'm trying to say something, but my brain's just stuck on this one word. It's like during the car ride, and even now, he'll, like, bring up, like, your brain. Like, you were just stuck repeating hump over and over again. And I'm like, I know. I was trying to make a joke, but I was so, like, tired or something that I just couldn't get past that one word. Honestly, like, my brain did get stun locked. My brain was just having a hard time going over this hump. That's the last time I do a road trip with those guys. It was Slanesh. Slanesh was trying to come in and take over my brain. But some words are just funny to say. Some words just get stuck in your head and you just sit there repeating them. But I really enjoyed my trip to Canada. I would definitely do it again, but in a warmer time of year. I don't even know how to pronounce that, so I'm not even going to try. That is an interesting word. Okay, who's left for needing silver? You are. I also talked about the story on how I accidentally ate 500 milligrams of weed and was high for the next 3 days. I'm not explaining that one. If you were here for the stream and you listened to the story, that's the only time you're going to hear it until it's a YouTube short. I will fully admit, I do not drink and I do not smoke. Oh no, I definitely came down. I came down off the high. But I definitely wasn't right. How can I be sure? Yeah, no, I'm very sure I did. God, if this whole if everything I've been experiencing up until this point has nothing but like a weed induced hallucination, I'm going to be so sad. Happy but also sad. There's some things that like I definitely want to be real and some things that I'm like I would be okay if they were fake. Actually, I do have another weed story if people want to hear it. I was going to save this for a few other ones, but... Oh, boy. I don't ever plan on doing that in my life. Oh, I wasn't... When I did that, I wasn't in the Warhammer. It was the first time I lived with my sister at our very first, or my very first apartment with her. And I had a panic attack that night. And then the next day I unloaded 150 square bales. No, I stacked 150 square bales in a hayloft and sweat out like a day's worth of weed. That is the summarized version of what happened. My other story takes place in Ireland. I have been to Ireland twice in my life. The first time was with friends when we were... It wasn't just my sister, it was my sister and 2 other girl roommates as well. So I was the... Besides myself and the dog, we were the only guys in that entire apartment. No, we'll do gunmetal. Doesn't involve potatoes. We did have fish and chips that night, but no, not directly. The second I gotta turn. I gotta take a headphone out and like not have the music because I'm speaking louder because the music's loud, but it's not that loud in reality. It's just loud in my headphone. The second time I went to Ireland was for a friend's wedding. He actually moved to Ireland to be with this girl that he eventually married. There was ups and downs. I will admit, I never did anything with any of the girls, nor did I want to. I'm like, I live with all these people, and two of them, one is my actual sister, and the other one I see as an adoptive sister. So, yeah, it was interesting living like that. But yeah, while in Ireland the second time, the night of his wedding, this is like later in the night, I was like, you know what? I will have fun and relax and enjoy myself. And one of my other friends, actually one of them I recently went to Canada with, brought over some edibles. And he was like, hey, Swamp, do you want to like have this like 10 milligram edible? I'm like, sure. Yeah, I'll take it. Normally I don't do that stuff, but like, yeah, I'll take it. I'm here at a wedding. We'll be fine. All that stuff. No. I proceed to get really paranoid as the night goes on, because besides myself staying in my hotel room, I was with two other people who got really drunk that night as well. So I proceed to be like having a semi panic attack and worrying about us getting back to our hotel and be like, okay, we really need to go. We need to go now. We need to go to our like hotel room and like get there and be secure. I was just so paranoid is what it went down to. And I will admit, there was one guy there trying to talk to me that whole night. And I thought he was like a really cool guy, all that stuff. But turns out he was just really anxious and all that. I have no memory of what I said to him, nor could I really respond, because I had no idea what we were talking about. So, night goes on. Eventually, like, we get to go home, but I'm so paranoid that, like, we won't have a car ride to get back to our hotel room. We won't get there. I pretty much had a mini panic attack. So, I have decided to never take drugs again in my life while in a foreign place. I will admit, before I did the 500 milligrams that one night, I was like fine with weed. And that happened to yeah, it's, I think after like the 500 milligrams, I am now prone to just having panic attacks from weed. So I'm like, I'm just never gonna do it again to save myself that stress and all that stuff. I do question that if it had something else in it. Maybe it did, maybe it didn't. I never asked that guy, nor do I need to ask about it. Although I think mixing weed and alcohol is never really a fun thing to do in general, but hey, people do what they want to do. I'm trying to think. I do have like another story from the first time I went to Ireland. I'm trying to think if it's safe to talk about, though. like nothing happened and everything was safe, but it's like, do I want to really talk about it? I think I'll wait till like another night, maybe like a private like community stream to talk about that story. Did I see any Fae? Maybe. Honestly, I think it actually would have been really cool, like, excuse me. I know some of the rules to deal with the Fae. I don't know all of them. Do I want to ever interact with a Fae? No, I don't. I do not want to interact with the Fae folk or the fairy folk. But it would be an interesting thing to see, I guess. But no, the story that I'm thinking of, it involves like other things than weed. So like that's why I'm like, do I bring it up or do I just hold it to myself? Oh, that's actually really interesting. I love that kind of lore and history, to be honest. Like when I was a kid, I loved like the stories of King Arthur and knights and fantasy and all that stuff. I mean, if it isn't obvious, I am like a D&D nerd to begin with. So I really do enjoy kind of hearing that. Trying to think on what else I hit with this gunmetal. I will always say never really deal with like things that go bump in the night. You know, there are some things out there that we cannot explain. I know I've had some experiences. You swear that DMT aliens are real? Is that an actual saint? I'm not religious at all, so like I'm actually asking for curiosity's sake if that's an actual like saint. Oh, wait, that's Remington. Oh my lord! After you said Second Amendment, Remington makes full sense. Oh, I was scrolling through YouTube and I think my thing's gonna end. Hold on, is it? No, we're only like over halfway. I know in old stories they said like iron is what you could use against the Fae and all that stuff. But now I don't know if iron works anymore. Honestly, not my opinion. And all that stuff, but like in the YouTube short I saw, they're like over time the Fae probably got like used to iron. Now the thing that will kill the Fae is plastic Because plastic is man-made and not from nature at all. I mean, rubber is, but like actual plastic is not. I've seen them before. I heard about them. I swear on the Emperor. I do like listening to stories about people's like random experiences with stuff. I'm fully in the group that believes you do not whistle at night, you do not speak certain things names, and I will not say them here because I believe that they are real and I don't want them messing with me. I've had knowing I've had some interactions with something like in the woods, and it fully has spooked me to the point that I don't like being in the woods alone anymore. Yeah, I live by that wisdom. I do have one story when I was a kid about we were like building forts in different places and all that stuff. This was like I was at a camp that my parents' friends owned, and we would go there in the summer and stay there like during the week or weekends and stuff. And the kids wanted to like we always wanted to build forts and stuff, but there was nowhere at the camp that we could do that. It was owned by like all these different people. Like a girls' camp owned this one section, and it was a huge piece of land in between us and them, and we tried building there, but we'd get in trouble. And so we found a spot. It wasn't on like the camp's property, it was someone else's property. But they built a junk fort. And I sat out there like one day just kind of looking out at the woods, watching things. And I realize now everything got really quiet when I was out there. At the time I was like maybe 10 to like 12 years old. And I look at the woods and I focus on this one spot specifically. I don't know why, but like my brain and eyes just stayed focus on it. And I see this like thing that's on two legs but furry run across through the woods. And it spooks me, and I sit there, not moving, not doing anything. Not a single thing I felt like moved. It was probably a few minutes that passed by, but it felt way longer. Until I felt comfortable with even moving or doing anything. I felt so off. And what I remember is it was tall and furry, but it had the head of like a wolf or dog. So I was like, whatever I just saw was not normal. I do not feel safe. I need to get out of here. And once I could, I left that spot, and I did not return until other people were there. And I told people like what was going on, like when I was there. And the direction it ran, it would have to run into the road. And I never saw anything run toward the road because I could kind of see the road from where I was. It's I remember, and I was like, nope. And then I think it was like later that summer, it got torn down by like a couple of the older people because it was just not on the property. The camp in general was just weird sometimes because it had, so like, I'm gonna put some stuff here. Let's say this is the campground, and then the stuff on this side is the woods and all that. And it had a path leading from the road all the way up through the camp to where there was pavement up at the top of the hill that you could then take and walk into town. And there was outlets for it was the camp little path to walk to other campsites and stuff. Like there were actual roads to like walk and drive on these, but it was like if you wanted to like walk in the woods a little bit, there was a path that you could take. Which one I was just working on? I was working on this guy. You need to be worked on. You're done. That's what I'm doing that. And I remember for a fact that was the day I never wanted to walk by myself in the woods again. Because every time I'm afraid that that thing is still out there somewhere. And I don't admit that I am scared of that because there are, like I said, things out there that we don't fully know. The other weird time I had in the woods, definitely like it was 2-3 years ago. I was a lot older, but I walked up this trail. It was a very short trail, and I walked it up. Yeah, I walked up it for the summer solstice. I never had an encounter like that by myself, but I've been watched in the dark before. I live out in the sticks, and you can always tell. You can. You honestly can. Like, where I live, some people would call the sticks and all that. Probably not as, like, outdoorsy as you do. But I don't live far from the White Mountain National Forest. Just to give another, like, location on where I kind of am. So, like, that's New Hampshire's big national park. And I've not had any experiences there, but I definitely know around the area there are some, like, weird things. Or just, hell, Stephen King writes books about my state, about all the creepy things here. So it's bound to have some weird stuff in it. And I will tell you, the northern part of my state is in the bumfuck middle of nowhere. I can see why people write stories about it. I've never been that far north before, but oh boy do I understand why people write stories about that. But to kind of like continue what I was saying before, it was during summer solstice, and I wanted to like enjoy one of the last day of like full summer. Don't type its name. I am very paranoid about you. Do not type out or say their names. Sorry to like be loud about that, but I honestly believe about like you do not say them. You do not at all. And I'm sure people here are like judging me for it, but I'm like no. I don't risk it. You can make fun of me all you want for all that stuff. I don't care. What do you mean by... I'm not going to ask any more questions. I don't think I want to know anymore. You bought the meta zoo cards during the hard crash, and the cryptids are so cool. Like, was there an actual card game that had, like, cryptids and stuff on it? It's kind of cool. Actually, that is, like, yeah, I think that actually would be kind of like a cool, like, collector's card game. Thinking about it out loud. Not to finish my like little hike story. I went up and I wanted to have like a little. I mean, you could just say like cannibals, and I think I would understand what you're talking about. Went full under. Wait, this is a card game that's not made anymore. I kind I kind of want to find like a Bigfoot card and buy it just for my friend that likes Bigfoot. Uh, honestly, probably should change subject. Start talking about something different. Oh, excuse me. Okay, that's there. It was bought and restarting. Okay, okay. Might have to keep an eye out for it. I will admit, at the same time that, like a couple years ago, I got really into like the SCP stuff and all that stuff. Here about. Ooh, that's kind of creepy. It's a thing. It's a critter that goes water dash land, not known to be hostile, just hunts the water and land. That sounds like an alligator or crocodile, but I think you said you're from Michigan or something like that. And I'm pretty sure Michigan doesn't have alligators or crocodiles. But now that worries me a little bit because I live next to some water. You know what? I will make this part metallic. Oh, that instantly gives me the thought of like a kelpie when you say hooves, but then when you also say paws, I'm like, okay, that's I'm like trying to. Because when you say like hoof prints, I think of like horse hoof prints, but it also could have been like there could be a deer shaped one, it could be moose shaped. Which I know in Michigan, like you guys have. Does Michigan have mooses? Are are moose in Michigan? The Inuit have an almost identical. Oh, now I remember where Michigan is. Now I remember where it is. I think I got a friend living out in Michigan. Or close to Michigan. I do want to go visit him. I think it'd be fun to... Switches from wolf to orca, or orca to wolf. That just reminds me of another creature that copies animals' looks but is not right. Another one I don't really want to say either. I haven't looked up any sort of like cryptid history stuff in a while. I think I might do it again, but if I do, I know I'm going to get paranoid again because I easily do get paranoid. And it's going to freak me out a little bit. So I probably should stay away from that. Ugh. Oh, okay. Okay. I do apologize for getting loud earlier as well. I don't know. I know it's just like tall tales or some random guy who mentions a story and then it's just a way to like it just expands and grows as, you know, history and time went on, but people make those stories for a reason. Oh, how many lakes? How many lakes are in Michigan? Because Michigan's the literal, like, min-looking state on the Great Lakes. I think. If I'm proven wrong, I'm okay with being proven wrong. Actually, talking about the Great Lakes, I have been to Lake Champlain before. That was a fun drive. Did that with a couple friends in like a day. We went to go visit a friend off in college. I thought we'd be staying over the night. Ugh. The Great Lakes are massive. Like, they're so big that they have their own, like, currents and all that stuff. I mean, most large lakes do, but because they're just large, God, the word is escaping me right now. They're just so big that, like, they're just actual shipping lanes and stuff through them. Like, I remember looking at it and not seeing the other side of, like, not seeing the shore. Over 62,000 lakes if you count the water that's over 1.1 acre big, and 11,000 lakes over 5 acres in surface area. The Great Lakes are just freshwater seas. Yeah, they are just freshwater seas. But they are very cool. It's very impressive that something like that exists on our planet. I do remember. I remember the Fitzgeralds. That actually, like, the anniversary of it sinking, like, happened sometime recently. So, like, all the YouTubers and Instagram people just started making posts about it. Yeah, it's just saying the anniversary for it just happened. But like the reason why we still celebrate it is because it's like the last. That was your company's ore ship. Well, that's a cool bit of like lore there. Hi, Rory. Sorry, I'm saying hi to my dog. The Great Lakes are like an entity onto their own. They are a huge body of water that needs to be respected and all that. I think like the biggest thing with any body of water should be respected in general. Because one, you don't know what goes on underneath the surface. It could be like, I think there's a river or something in England, or it could be like New Zealand. Um, and if you hop in the water, it will suck you down below because it's like one of the deepest rivers in the entire world. Like it has it's got a hidden current that pulls people under. No, I don't think it's the Thames. It's literally like it's 5 feet wide or smaller, but if you get in it, it just goes down so deep and pulls you in. Da, da, da. I think that is all on that one. I know I started stream later than I normally do, so that's why I'm getting a little tired and yawning, but I'm going to push it a bit later to get my 3 hours that I've done. Yeah, it is a terrifying thing. I don't remember its name, but I'd hate to be the people that first swam in that water and found out, like, hey, you don't want to swim in this water because you get pulled underneath. Is that the fear of, like, deep water? I've never seen that word typed out before. Come on. Fear of depths. Okay. I mean, that's fair. Some water does scare me. Like, for me, I need to be able to see, like, the bottom. I need to be able to see the bottom of the water in order to feel comfortable. But sometimes I also don't need to feel, like, okay to swim in it. Like, I know this summer I swam in the ocean, and I was like, you know, let's go out deeper. I really want to go out deeper. I feel, like, comfortable swimming out here. The water was cold, and if I went any deeper, I could have gone, like, sucked in by the current, and I knew that. Yeah, but, like, for me, like, once I get into a lake that's, like, dark, murky water, I'm like, nope, I'm not so comfortable on this. Let me out of here. Something just about just dark, murky water. think being out in the middle of the ocean would just be a no-go for me. Just a big old nope. Honestly, that kind of is what the ocean is. It is just one giant salty lake, or are lakes just unsalted oceans? That's a question. Okay. Let's get you your next bit of metallic. I wouldn't say shark free. I mean, a bull shark. Is it a bull or tiger shark? I think a bull shark can survive in fresh water, but they need to have like a stored up reserve of salt in their system in order to like swim in fresh water. Because in some parts, like bull sharks swim up into fresh water to lay or to give birth to their pups. That's like where the movie Jaws comes from, is from like I think a bull shark swimming up fresh water to do that. But also in freshwater, we can have just as terrifying creatures as sharks. I know in the Great Lakes you have sturgeon. Ah, okay. So I am proven wrong, which I am okay to be proven wrong on something. But like, you have sturgeon that are huge fish that I know they're more like a bottom feeder-ish kind of fish, or more like a Hoover vacuum style fish. But you could also have like a pike or a muskie. I'm not trying to pick on them. I like sturgeon. They've been around since the dinosaurs, and I'm 100% okay with a sturgeon. I don't like caviar. I dislike caviar, and I hate that it comes from like they pretty much gotta like get it from the fish straight out. But like, I know like muskies or pikes can get really big and be just as aggressive to people. You can have some really big catfish in some places. I know like I definitely know out in more warmer waters is where you would deal with like larger catfish and the bigger fish. So like the the word is escaping me. I'm thinking of like gar and stuff like that, which that's another cool fish. I like alligator gar. I'd like to own a couple scales of like alligator gar. One that was dead, not one that like someone caught, killed, and then got the scales from. Oh, I love catching pike. Pike put up such a good fight. See, like when I fish, I don't fish often, but when I do, I want to catch something that gives me a good fight. So I like catching pike for that reason. I haven't really dealt with many fish that give me like a good fight. I've dealt with a trout that was kind of a pain in the butt. And it was... Oh, I'd love to catch a catfish. Every year I have 3 fish that I put on my bucket list to catch. Trout, bass, and salmon. Those are the 3 fish I always put on my list every year to catch. And there's only ever been 1 year where I've gone 2 out of the 3 fish. I've gone trout and bass in 1 year, never caught a freshwater salmon. And I really do want to catch one. I used to hunt, or I tried hunting, but how to word this? In the 2 years that I tried hunting, I never got deer the correct way. Oh, I don't catch fish to eat. I catch fish and then I release them, unless they're trout. Trout are the one fish I will keep and eat, but it really depends on where I catch them. But yeah, I have only ever gone 2 deer in my entire life, and it was through unnormal means. Is there anything that I want to paint gold on these guys? I don't think so. I hate to burst your bubble there, Raz. It was never intentional. The first deer I ever got in my life was a 12 or 13 point buck that ran in front of my truck when I was going to go meet it with my friends to play D&D. I drove 35 miles an hour. I looked at it, counted 5 points, and I'm like, oh, this is going to suck. It hit the front of my truck, went down the side of it, and it hooked itself on its bumper and pulled the bumper a little bit and cut open its leg. It does... I never... No damage. What? My truck was fine. There was no damage besides the bent bumper. You joined in on one of my hunting stories. I don't go hunting anymore, but when I really wanted to get a deer, which I was like praying and putting a lot of energy out there to do, my first car accident I had was in Kentucky. Hit a cow. Your dad framed the newspaper. Oh boy. Anyway, to finish my story, all I had I saw the eye shine because all I had was my phone camera or my phone light. Oh, I think I'm gonna get an ad. Yeah, we got a little bit longer. Music can keep going. Um, but to I saw it look at me. It looked at me, looked away, back into the woods, looked at me again, looked away, and I heard it. I thought it walked away, but what happened, I thought it walked away, so I'm like, okay, I'll make a phone call, because I was like 3 minutes from my parents' house. It was still on their road. And I called on my dad. He came down with his light, and we shined it around. He's like, we'll go looking for it in the morning. It's too late. I've had a few, like, beers to drink. It's unsafe if we do this. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. So we came back the next day, which was with me, two of my coworkers at the time, and my dad. We all had orange on, and we're like, okay, we're going to go try and find this deer, all that stuff. I look into the ditch on where I saw it last night. I look at them and I say, found it. And they're like, what do you mean? That's the deer I hit. It was 2/3 stripped by the coyotes that night. All that was left was its head and its upper neck area and its shoulder that was laying on the ground. We picked up the deer and they saw the head. I'm like, you were not kidding. This was a big buck. I'm like, I told you. I counted the spikes before I hit it, and a half of it, I counted 5, and the other half there was another 5, which later we counted. It was like 11 or 12. I can go count it. I still have the skull. We took what was good from it, and we weighed out what the amount of meat that was on it. We estimated the weight would have been 230 pounds, we think. Just because from its neck section and the one part of its, like, upper shoulder that was still good, weighed 50 pounds in total. So we estimated it was, like, around 230. And that was the first one I ever hit. The second one was during the day, and I was going down to visit some friends that lived an hour away in the city. I was driving. There was snow on the ground, and I saw this deer. It crossed the road, stopped, looked at my truck, and ran in front of my truck. And I hit that deer with my truck. The same truck, within 2 years, took out 2 deer. Actually, this one didn't die instantly. It got hit by the truck and skidded across the road. And I was going to take care of it, but someone else came by and, like, took care of it, is the best way I'm going to put it. He put too many... Who's calling me? I'm going to ignore the phone call. They put too many holes in the deer. It was not good. They spent... It honestly wasn't clean, and if I went and did it the way I wanted to, it would have been clean. But I took that one home. I thought I hit a doe. No, it was another little buck that I hit. And there was no damage to the truck at all. So, those are the only 2 deer I have ever gotten in my life. And I've never been hunting since. Found another playlist I want to put up. So, I know those are not the stories people want to hear and all that stuff, but that's just some of the more interesting stuff that has happened within my life. I will admit, the time that I really wanted to get a deer and go hunting and all that stuff, I was a lot more spiritual than I currently am in my life. Like, to the point that I was hearing voices, is the best way I will word it. And during the whole hunting season, I kept being woken up at the crack ass of dawn, which is not my normal time of waking up. And I literally, like, said in my head, like, 5 more minutes. And a female voice replied to me, "You know what? Go fuck yourself." And I woke up and I'm like, what? What the hell was that about? And then, like, later, I think it was, like, later that year is when I hit the second deer. Or it could have been the first one. I don't remember. That's one of the 2 times I've ever heard really clear voices while I'm trying to sleep. The other time was definitely a lot more weird. Not weird, but it was just like, how do I want to describe this? I was trying to sleep. It was like, I woke up in the middle of the night to just this loud, like, party going on is the best way I would describe it. But it didn't sound like a normal party. It sounded like a, like, medieval feast, if I had to really be honest. And it was just super loud. And I'm like, it's so loud. I'm trying to sleep. And I didn't, like, want to wake up. And then something, like, slammed down what sounded like a hammer. Or some sort of, like, big metal object telling everything to shut up. And it did. And the only thought I had was, like, thank you. And everything stayed quiet. Like, I remember the voice. It was a deep male voice that, like, told everything just to shut up. I don't know what it was, but like I said, it's in a time where I was exploring myself a lot more spiritually. I don't think it was a ghost. I honestly don't think it was a ghost whatsoever. It didn't feel like a ghostly presence. It felt different. Like, none of those voices wanted to do me harm at all from the feeling of it. The first one, like the female one, felt like, if I had to guess, they were annoyed because they were trying to do something a favor. And I wasn't like allowing the favor to be fulfilled, so it got annoyed and then I think just threw it in my face. And then the second one was just like needing some peace and quiet. But I don't know, like I could get into what I think it is more, but I don't really want to like delve too deep into it because there's no need to delve deep into it either. Okay. So I'm just adding a bit of greedy gold to like the hilt of the sword. And I have like another sword to do it to. I'm sure I could have done a different color metallic. I just really like the look of like gold and silver swords and everything. And this is just my army. So I'm like, you know what? It's my choice. I don't know. Do any of you guys have any like weird stories like that y'all want to share? It's fine if not. I know it can be kind of weird to share like stories like that. Sometimes they do feel kind of personal or like that no one will maybe like believe you and stuff like that, but I think just sharing them in general is a good thing. Because I know both those times I did tell like my sister, because I still live with her, but I told actually all my roommates like, hey, this is kind of like what I heard last night. Anyone else kind of like experienced something weird? And like, no, but that is weird to deal with. I'd say as long as you and that thing have an understanding of not messing with each other and just respecting each other's spacing or just each other's space, then you should be fine. That's like the main thing I keep in mind is like if I'm going somewhere or interacting, I try to treat this with people as well, but like I'm entering someone else's space. I need to be respectful of that. Like how do I want to be treated in my home and and I invite a guest over? How do I want them to treat me in my home? And I want them to treat it with like respect and like understanding that this is my space and that they're allowed to be here as long as they don't do anything that interferes with that, like interferes with my peace and interferes with me. Also, keep that in mind for like I said, people in life in general. If you got people that don't respect your space and your boundaries, then why would you allow that person in your place? I think it's just curious, but not really interested. That's okay. If it leaves me and mine alone, it's welcome to hunt the rabbits here if it likes. That, yeah. Oh, I have some chickens. I had like 30 something chickens at one point, and I lost a bunch of them to like foxes and raccoons over the past 2 years. It's kind of on me for not keeping up to date with their coop and stuff like that. I got sidetracked, but I'm down like to like the double digits of my birds. I think even single digits now. I've tried to keep. I started with like 30 silkies, and then it's fluctuated and moved over to like full size birds, but I've just lost a lot more over the years, and I'm not able to always do stuff with my animals. And I really wish I could. I like to actually have my animals Sorry, I'm like looking and checking to make sure I got everything I could. I need to put, yeah, I need to put blue paint right here. I want to get more birds, but I don't live on. The birds are at my parents' property, and I live 15 minutes away in an apartment. So I have to like drive there every day to like go and feed them and check on them, and I just want to have my own like little bit of property that I can have my animals on and tend to them and take care of them. I will say, I have one bantam chicken that has survived all this. So, initially, like, when I started with all the bantams, I think, like, you order 30, but not all 30, like, made it or survived. So, I had, like, 15 little bantams. And then I had this duck, like, we had a duckling that just didn't sell. So, I took the duck and I put it in with my chickens. The duck's name is Glide, and she has survived this entire time, as well as this one chicken that I call Chunky. This bantam barred rock chicken that's no bigger than this weighs like 5 pounds in my hand, and I call her Chunky because she's a chunky chicken. Yeah, my parents, or my mom has like she has a bunch of horses on her farm and stuff and all that. So like that's unfortunate that we have those animals. But besides the duck that initially joined the chickens, we also like eventually got 2 geese as well. And I was like, oh, you know what? I've heard of people using gooses as like guard gooses for their chickens. So I put like the 2 baby geese with the chickens when they're all still relatively young to just like grow up and interact with each other. And I still have those geese. They do a very good job of keeping the hawks away and all that stuff. I thought I had 2 female geese, but turns out I have a male goose and a female goose. So the one and only time she's laid eggs before in the past, but there's only been one time where she's actually hatched out baby geese. And I initially kept 2 of the babies. One didn't make it. Like it fully grew up and just didn't make it. I don't know what caused it to die. But then, like, one of the little females, I have 3 geese. I have my original 2. The original female is called Puff. I named her after Puff the Magic Dragon because her cheeks are white and puffy. Yeah, it does happen. I think I can't remember what I named the male. I think I named the male Steve. So it's Puff and Steve. And I've not named the female goose that is still alive. Like the daughter of the 2. And the daughter does try to like hatch out and lay eggs and stuff, but I just don't think they don't sit on the nest long enough to hatch out any babies. Like the one and only time it actually happened, they were locked in a horse stall because I didn't have my coop fully finished yet. So I was able to like hatch out a couple babies from that, and I was very lucky. I like that my animals can hatch out their own babies because it builds a bloodline, I guess, that I can kind of like trace back of like, oh, these are your parents. So it's like, oh, this is first generation, then here's second generation, then third generation. And sometimes it does mix with like third and second generation will mix together, or the different generations will mix. I did for a while have a mix between bantam and full-size chickens. Like I only had bantam roosters for a while, and now so the bantam roosters would find a way to like have babies with like a full-size chicken. So I got these like cute little half breed mixtures. They weren't like a full bantam, but they weren't a full chicken either. I was very much a fan of that mixture. Okay. I'm almost done with the metallics on these guys. Actually, I might add some gold to this. You carried the two newest chicks out of the coop long after they should have because the mother wanted to keep them in. But I mean, isn't it getting cold too? Like, the birds should be like going inside and staying warm. Because it is getting colder out. Then colder and colder and colder. Yeah, I don't think it got over like 20 something degrees today. I am not looking forward to the snow coming. It almost makes me want to move down south just to get away from the snow. But then I'd be moving away from like all my friends and family that live around here. Oh, you were talking about your mother. I thought you were talking about the chicken's mom. Holy crap, I skipped over the word my. I thought you were talking about like the mother hen just didn't want the babies to go outside the coop. Uh, First off, I'm sorry to hear that's what you're going through with your mom. It's a terrible thing to see a loved one go through. I haven't dealt with it myself, but I've heard many of stories on people dealing with it. Actually, I think my mother dealt with it with her grandma. Because she started to forget where she was. I didn't interact with her very much, but I know it affects my mother very much. And I wish it wasn't a thing that we had to go through. It's either, I think if most people had a choice between their mind going and their body, they'd rather see their body go than their mind. Because it's sad. I don't want to get too much into it because I don't want to say something that will make someone upset or like it just not be. That's good. I'm glad it's a stable form. Is there anywhere else on this guy I want to be gold? I don't think so. So, her short-term memory is very short, is what I'm understanding. That's a tough thing to deal with. Okay. I'm gonna try focusing back on the model a little bit. But I'm glad you're... It's hard to convince her that she did not brush her teeth or feed the dog because she's not trying to pronounce that. It with random memories of when she last did it, last did those things. Oh. Okay. I mean, you're going there every day to, like, check on there and be with them and all that stuff. I mean, I'm assuming you're doing this on top of, like, a regular job and then your apartment that you also, like, have away from there. I don't want to pry too much into your life just for the sake of, like, being on a screen. There's not anything I can do except just be a person that can listen to you vent. But my other questions are if there's other people that are there to help you, like, through this. Like, is there a support system that you are able to call upon? Like other siblings or other family members? But again, if it's not a thing you're comfortable answering, then, like, don't. And yeah, take your time with whatever you got going on. I will be here until I decide not to be here, or just go off from there. Okay. Last guy that I need to do, I think just for metallic. And then it is just going to be moving on to the next stuff. I think all I have left after this is just some... really just doing like the paper tags and all that. Or any bits of like red cloth that I want to do. So like purity seals and the detail stuff on that. Then I get to actually... holy crap. After this, will I actually be putting on proper acrylic paint and pushing them to the next step that I want to do? Oh boy, we're getting somewhere, people. It's only taken us 10 days. Are you driving while listening to me on stream? No, stay focused on the road. Don't text and drive. I know I sound angry doing that, but like, no, don't text and drive. I make that mistake more than enough. It's okay just to sit here and lurk and watch. I don't need people to always constantly message. I'm not trying to sound mean. I'm just like, priorities. I've been telling my coworkers and things like that the most important thing in your life is you. Like, take care of yourself first. Okay. Well, it's a good thing that you have a support system, at least, to help you with things. Whether they are any help or not. It doesn't matter. They're at least there to try and be helpful. Is how I look at it. Like, they're trying. And sometimes just being there is more than enough. Sometimes that is a cool thing, and sometimes it's like a 20-minute drive just to get to the next grocery store. Like, I know currently where I am, it's a 3-minute drive to the grocery store. But to go visit my parents, it's a 15-minute drive. Well, 7-minute drive. Okay. I am done with the metallics. And that is so goddamn exciting. I'm like, so if it is just the purity seals and like maybe a couple of things here and there are all that need to be touched up. And once I'm done with that, I can move on to actually acrylic painting. So like, this is a bit of a close-up. So, I got the metallic. Like I said, I just got to do purity seals. I'm going to use this guy as a little pointer real quick. So I got to do, like, the cloth here and there. And I do need to paint up his base. I'm not sure what type of Tyranid I want to paint that up as. But I do know I need to paint up, like, the gun here a little bit with some color. And there is a part, like, here that also needs to be painted on the chain fist, or on the chainsaw. But I am just so excited to work on actually putting down some color. Because the part that I enjoy the most when it comes to painting, I'm not usually a big squad painter, because it feels like it takes so long to paint a squad for me. I'm more apt to sit down and work on one model all day long and get it done. And just do that with every single one. Like, work on every step on that model until it's complete. Actually, this guy, I should probably put some wash on him, but I also don't want to put wash on him at the same time. And I do need to do symbols at some point. I haven't come up with a chapter symbol yet. I have an idea for one. I just haven't gone around to doing it yet. You know what? I'm going to paint that Tyranid up in my custom Tyranid one. I'm going to paint that Screamer Killer as my custom Tyranid High Fleet. My custom High Fleet that I've worked on. I only have a few models in that color scheme, but I like it enough that I will do it some more. So I'm pulling out Leviathan Blue Contrast. So the idea for the chapter symbol is a dragon's head, like the Salamander's dragon symbol, but with a sword going through its skull. Actually, I haven't even said the name of my chapter for those that are here. The name of my chapter is The Executioners of the Abyss. So that is the name, and I will repeat again. The Executioners of the Abyss. And I was kind of thinking, like, the Abyss could be another name for the Tyranids. So I was kind of, like, following that idea of, like, I mean, these are Space Marines that travel around the whole Milky Way galaxy, fighting creatures and things that go bump in the night in the abyss of space. So these are the executioners that come in. What's the Doomslayer sigil? Hold on. I'm gonna look that up. I've never played Doom. I want to try Doom, but I think I would just die constantly. What'd you say it is? Doomslayer sigil. Oh, that would be cool. That'd be cool, but I don't know if that really fits with what I'm going for. I don't dislike it. I just want to pick something that's like me. I mean, that would be a good symbol. I'm not going to disagree with that. But I'm also like, it's tough. Let's see. Oh yeah. And I'm gonna just keep. I should draw up the symbol because I want to freehand the symbol on for my Marines, but I also want to get those stamps as well. Oh, what, the Doomslayer symbol? Oh, I'm sure people would recognize it instantly. I'm sure they would. Honestly, I should keep it kind of simple. Actually, that was some of the... when I looked up the Doomslayer symbol, a lot of images was of it tattooed on other... was tattooed on the people. So I'm like, okay, it's a very popular symbol. But I look at my chapter as this is an expression of me, and where I've never played Doom before in my life and I don't know anything about Doom, I don't have a connection to that. I could instead do like a dinosaur skull with a sword impaled on it, because my Space Marine chapter Homeworld is just Jurassic Park 2 and 3, but a whole planet. So currently in the crusade that I'm playing in, I have fought Tau, Tyranids, Votan, and Chaos Space Marines. That has been the armies I fought the most. Which I think for me kind of fits, because I want to fight everyone and everything that I can. So, to kind of talk about my Space Marines homeworld a little bit, because I do have some lore for that. Like I described before, it's a mixture between Jurassic Park 2 and 3, just being on the second island as it being a nature preserve. Terra Nova, if anyone knows that TV series. And the Walking with Dinosaurs series that was made by the BBC in like the early... I haven't used Ice Psychers yet. I want to use Psychers, but just not... I haven't done it yet. How I also... I'm trying to like go through here. The other... There is a council. And I'm pulling this from the Dark Angels. There's a council of 13. So the 10 captains are part of it. Then there's the chapter master, the head chaplain, and the... I don't know if I want to consider apothecary or the psyker. No, it's psyker. And the head psyker are a part of the council. Yeah. I just have to draw it first and then go from there. I mean, I could use... Where are they? Ah, here it is. If I really wanted to, I could use the Salamander's chapter symbol and then find like a Dark Angel's sword symbol and put it through that, and that would be like exactly what I'm looking for. But I don't use transfer sheets, and I never plan on using them either. I'm also taking inspiration for the homeworld from Monster Hunter as well, because I love the Monster Hunter games. I played Monster Hunter World quite a bit. I want to play Wilds, though, so bad, but it won't run on my computer. So I've not been able to run that yet and fight Lagiacrus, which I want to hunt so bad. Lagiacrus is my favorite monster from Monster Hunter, and I want to fight it so bad. Have I ever seen a bat skull? Yes, maybe? Okay. Example for like a dragon skull would be my assumption. Yeah. That is exactly the reason why you... Yeah, I'll take a look at it. I just haven't sat down and drawn it yet. I think I'll take some time this weekend to do so. And I think when I do go to paint it, I'm going to practice a bunch on like some paper or just on some other little random surfaces. Just to make it look... Yeah. So, I'll take a look at all that stuff. Or, oh, wait a minute. We're talking about this and I just got an idea. Ah, yes. Okay. Show me... Can I have... Okay. I think... Yeah, we'll just tap on that real quick. Sorry, I'm looking up... I'm trying to find a good image for what I think I could use instead. I'll use this one as an example. I gotta download this real quick. Save images. Desktop. And then let me just go here real quick. That one. Okay. I'm gonna pull it up. So, what I am thinking, for those that have played Monster Hunter, there's a monster called the Gaiacris. It is a sea serpent-like monster that has some Asian dragon themes. And I remember someone made replicas of the skull. So the skull kind of looks like this. This crocodile-looking head. I understand. So my camera won't work that well because I can't poke through this. But bear with me. The crocodile shape, I think, would work really well. And then the horns coming off the back, just having it on this side, it's going to be a lot to do, but have that as the symbol, and then maybe a sword through it, or it could be just that symbol. And I will see if I can, if I have Do I have a Legiacris just on my computer somewhere to show the creature that I am talking about? I'm like, probably I do, but where on this green earth, where would it be? Okay. I'm just going to use this image. And then go here, and then I'm going to change it. I will read chat in a second. Where are you? There you are. Oh, it's large. This is so large. Bear with me. I'm trying to show off this whole thing. But, like, this is the creature I'm talking about from Monster Hunter. That's the thing's skull that I was talking about. What are you talking about, if you like an orca plus those horns... Oh, if you like an orca plus those horns, that'd be creepy as F. You found it? What are you talking about? But anyway, like the creature skull that I was talking about is this guy. This is called Legiacris. He initially came in from Monster Hunter 3. I've never fought this monster before, but this creature made me get into Monster Hunter. I want to fight this guy in Wild so bad. I need to figure out how to get Wild to work on my computer. I love this monster so much. My favorite form of this guy is his abyssal form, which unintentionally, maybe intentionally at the same time, the Monster Hunter critter. Oh, you found him on Google. Ah, okay. So unintentionally, this guy matches my Space Marine's color a little bit. It's got the blue and the orange. I don't have the cream colored look and all that stuff, but his abyssal form is almost exactly the colors of my first company. I will get rid of this image real quick, and I will look up abyssal. Is there a... Oh, I'm just gonna show... No, that's not a good of a piece. I guess this is the only one that I will use. Let's see what else. And I'm going to show off the other one real quick, and then I will be happy and go back to painting. And okay, I will resize it, and then I'll make it pop up. This is the abyssal form. Unintentionally, I made my first company chapter look like this guy, color scheme wise. It's deep black scales with that light blue touch. So I'm definitely making this now my chapter symbol. I completely forgot that this guy existed until very recently. So yeah, glad I could geek out about Monster Hunter a little bit. Yeah, so I guess unintentionally I made Legiacris like color scheme for my Space Marines. But I love that so much now. I know when I do have a Wii and I could play Monster Hunter 3 on the Wii and deal with the other underwater mechanics and all that stuff. But at the same time, I want to play Wilds so bad. It just, every time I go and boot up Wilds, it crashes. And I'm not sure how to fix it. But I love the Monster Hunter games. I'd say I have two other favorites that I love fighting a lot in Monster Hunter. I love fighting the Glavenus. It's a Carnotaurus, but with a giant sword for a tail. That's such a good fight. I love fighting its acid variant. Even though like it is a tough fight, I think at the end of the day for me either way. I love it so much that I'm okay with suffering through me failing the fights just to be able to fight it. And the other one is Azora Rathalos. I love fighting Azora Rathalos. I think it's just something about me fighting blue monsters just becomes like a favorite of mine. But yeah. Azora Rathalos was my favorite for, I think it is my favorite in Monster Hunter Worlds to fight, and then Glavenus came in, and I'm like, oh, you're now my favorite one to fight. I spend so much time in World just watching the monsters walk around and just be themselves. I know if I lived in those worlds, I would die so fast, but I think I just try to be a researcher in those worlds. I'd just be fascinated with those creatures. I mean, I'm glad we don't have those things nowadays walking around, but part of me kind of wishes that we did. Just because they're so cool and unique, but I know our world is filled with already cool and unique things. What does DMC stand for? And I'm just going to finish up. Yeah, I'll finish up a few little things. You know, I should be using this stand to paint, but I just haven't. Oh, Devil May Cry. Friend of mine, I think he's played the Devil May Cry series, and he likes it quite a bit. I gotta check and see if that is actually what he's played or not. Okay, I gotta stay focused here. At some point, I gotta get back into playing Dispatch. I know the newest chapters came out for it, and I've been trying so hard not to spoil myself for it. I just want to, like, I just need to play it. I enjoy my interactions with all the characters in that game so much. If I ever do stream Dispatch, I think that's where I'll talk about my first trip to Ireland, my like one I don't feel comfortable sharing right now on stream. Because I think that one it's more on chat with people and become a part of the community. It's a place that you can join and just hang out. It's completely free. It's in my channel description. And yeah. Sometimes we talk and post about Warhammer. I'll bounce ideas off of people. And I'm thinking about doing a community day stream just for the people in Discord. And I'm thinking I might either play Dispatch or some other game. So if you want to see me play those, then, you know, join the Discord and I will figure out when I decide I play that game. But also, if you're not comfortable, you don't have to join either. You do whatever you want. You are your own people. I do have a Ko-Fi account as well that people can donate to. Everything they donate there just goes back into making the stream a better place. Goes into making improvements for the stream. That's what I wanted to say. Sit here and watch me build and paint my models is more than enough for me. Because even talking about this, I've started this like just over a year ago is when I got into Warhammer. Like officially, like when I got into it and painted and all that stuff. It's been quite an interesting journey, I'd say, all the way through. From like my very first model ever painted to where I'm at now with it. Within just a year, it's a huge change. The more time that you can get just painting and practicing your skills, the better you're gonna be in the long run. It sucks to say that, like, when I was very early on, I wanted the fastest and quickest way to get better. And it really is just spending time with a paintbrush in my hand, just getting better and better and better as, like, time went on, and practicing new things and doing different random little like techniques. Because that's the only way you're going to get better, is just with practice and patience. That's honestly the truth for like anything in life in general. The only way you get better is by just doing. Actually, I do just need to clear this off. Get back to the point. I actually might need some more. Yeah. Brush. I need to stop using it because it's starting to fray. It's not at the end of its life. It's just like not keeping its point after being used so much without really being cleaned in between. And you know what? I think I'm actually going to call it here for a night. So I'm not done, but I definitely made a lot of progress within just these last 2 streams. And I'm happy with it. And I've enjoyed the stream so far. It's been nice having you guys here and chatting with and just listening to me ramble. And yeah, I won't go over my little spiel like I normally do because I already did that before. So I will, I guess, just finish it off with this. I want you to go out there and make something awesome. I know you will.